Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for another edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by Interim City Manager John Fitzpatrick. As usual, in the first portion of today's show, we'll have some municipal news to share, including updates from city departments and some things happening in Oshkosh. In the second half, we'll highlight items from the upcoming Tuesday, February 11th Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in our interim city manager, John Fitzpatrick. And John, thanks for joining us today and making time.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
Well, we have a lot to talk about today. And the first item that we have on our list is actually talking about election news. We are back in that election cycle again for some local elections and things. And we just wanted to remind folks that in-person absentee or early voting is available over at 19 East Irving Avenue with a variety of hours that are available for residents.
Right. We never know how it's going to turn out for voting, but I think it's probably safe to say that the lines are going to be a little bit shorter in the spring election than they were this last fall.
Right.
Especially with all the races that took place, presidential and others. So it looks like we have a graphic that indicates the hours when people can stop by on 19 East Irving. February 7th, 8 to 4:30, the 8th, 8:30 to 12:30, the 10th on 8:30 to 7, and 11th, 8 to 4:30, 14th, 8:30 to 5.
So a variety of hours, and folks will notice that there are some hours that are Saturday hours and also some evening hours. So
right.
It's a variety.
Right. We want to try to make it as easy as we can for people. We know that they have different work schedules and different responsibilities, and we want to make it possible for them to exercise their ability to vote.
Sure. And then, of course, Election Day is actually on Tuesday, February 18th, and the polls are open that day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and the clerk's office reminds everybody to bring your photo ID to vote. And actually, folks can still request an absentee ballot at this point, and you can do so online at the, you see on your screen, myvote.wi.gov, and there are many things that are available at that website for learning about voting and learning what races are on your ballot and things like that.
Right. I think if people aren't registered, we always recommend that they try to do that in advance. It really helps expedite the process, so that's another thing to consider. Right.
So in order to request a absentee ballot, it is requested that you do so by 5 p.m. on Thursday, February 13th, just because it does take some time for that ballot to reach you.
Right.
So that is the deadline for that. And as we mentioned, please verify your polling location before you head out to vote, and that website will help you with that. And of course, the city clerk's office is always happy to help. And
absolutely, yes.
They can be reached at 920-236-5011.
Right, and I don't know, Andy, if you wanted to mention the idea that District 13 is going to be relocated. So Sacred Heart School, that's ordinarily where that district has their voting, but there's some renovations that are taking place at the school that's not going to allow us to safely have voting there. So we've changed the location. It's going to be, my understanding, at the Senior Center South building. Is that right, Andy?
That's right. For this upcoming election on the 18th, as well as the April 1st election, that polling site that was at Sacred Heart School, as you mentioned, will be relocated to the Oshkosh Senior Center South building, 200 North Campbell Avenue.
Right.
So
yeah, there's some significant parking available there, so hopefully it'll be a smooth transition in a temporary circumstance.
Sure. All right. And as always, if there are any questions about any of this, please contact the City Clerk's office at 236-5011, or you can refer to those various online resources as well. Okay, John, we have a lot going on with the city. One of those items is that we are recruiting currently a new Oshkosh fire chief, and one of the aspects of this hiring process is community input. And there's currently a survey that is available for folks to fill out to have some say and some input in this hiring process.
Right. For what people may not understand, that in Wisconsin we have a system where we have a police and fire commission, and that structure was put in place, historically a long time ago, in order to try to mitigate some of the corruption that took place at the very beginning of the 1900s. And so the purpose of that is to separate the police and fire departments from political control, whether it be a mayoral form of government or another form of government. So because that structure is in place, they're the people that will be responsible for making the decision to hire the new fire chief.
Okay.
So I know that they want to try to find the best person possible, and we want to try to assist them with that. So a new survey is available. I think you're working with that Polko survey, right, Andy?
Exactly. And if folks have questions about what types of questions are on that survey, there are questions about leadership qualities, community priorities, future goals, things like that. And as you mentioned, the Police and Fire Commission will use the input from that survey as they consider their decision. But they also want to hear from a variety of stakeholders in order to select the individual that best fits the community's needs.
Right. I believe the interview process is tentatively scheduled for late March, early April. And I know that it's their goal to try to be able to secure a candidate, and they're working with HR on that. Hopefully beginning in June and potentially July, depending upon who they're interested in and what the circumstances are with that person in their current position. So.
Sure. Okay. And if folks are subscribed to the city's Polko service, they can access that to reach the survey. The survey is also available on the city's website in the Hot Topics section for easy, quick link.
Right.
So we encourage folks to participate in that survey. All right. Then, John, we also wanted to make mention that there's a new, very interesting educational series that is coming around. It's Exploring Native American Cultural Heritage, and it is a series. And the first segment of that series happens on February 23rd.
Right. People may not have been aware, but we recently reconstructed Pratt Trail, which is the roadway that travels through Menominee Park. And when we started that project, we knew that the possibility existed that we could come across some artifacts that were related to Native American heritage. So as we went through that process, and when we discovered those items, we were very careful to work with UW-Milwaukee. Their archaeologists helped us successfully evaluate those items, make sure that we were respectful. We worked with the tribes. Actually, some of the people that work in our museum helped with that process as well. So it's my understanding that this series showcases some of the work that was done there and some of the information that was recovered associated with that project.
That's right. That first free program actually is free. Is on Sunday, February 23rd, 2 o'clock p.m. at the Oshkosh Convention Center. And so as you mentioned, John, the focus of this one is specifically the work that was done over at Menominee Park and what was learned, and some kind of the follow-up of the whole piece of work that was done in that entire process. So the program is free, but it is requested that folks register at the Oshkosh Senior Center's webpage, and that there's more detail and information that are available on that webpage.
Oh, I think people will really find this interesting. I had the opportunity to tour the site with some representatives of some tribal nations. They were very gracious, they were very cooperative, but I think this is really designed to provide people an opportunity to see this initiative from a variety of different perspectives, not only the cities, but also the tribal nations. So I think it'll be very interesting for folks to take this in.
Sure. And there are many partners that are involved, including the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center, the Oshkosh Public Museum, as you had mentioned, the Wisconsin Arts Board, the National Endowment for the Arts, and Discover Oshkosh.
Right.
So it's really quite a collaborative effort.
It is.
All right. Then we also wanted to make mention that some good news here. The Landscape Operations Division was awarded a $25,000 urban forestry grant. And this grant is actually from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
It is. It's not the first grant that we have received from Wisconsin DNR. They've been good partners with us for many, many years. And it's my understanding that not only have we received this grant from Wisconsin DNR, but another great partner of ours, the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation, is also willing to provide a 50% match of that. So that'll really help us. I know, Andy, you remember quite a few years ago we had some significant storms that really reduced our urban forest. And then after that we had the impacts of the emerald ash borer. So this is really going to help us replenish our urban forest. It's very important for us. People may not realize that, not only is it good from an aesthetic perspective, but it really helps reduce the degradation of our roadways. There's so many different things that it does that really helps the community in a variety of different from a variety of different perspectives.
Sure. And as you had mentioned, the Taking Route 2 program and fund was really established to try to replenish that forest after that emerald ash borer sort of devastated things.
And I think it'd be remiss if I didn't mention that after those storms after the storms we had that I mentioned earlier, prior to emerald ash borer, the foundation stepped up and also helped us establish Taking Route 1. So this is just a continuing effort from the foundation to help support the community, and we're very grateful for that, as well as the support of the Wisconsin DNR.
And I know that the division is looking to develop an urban forest management plan for Oshkosh. That's all part of this. So, in addition to the replenishing of the trees, they're looking for some long-term planning and things like that.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you do have any questions, or if you wish to donate to the Taking Route 2 Fund, please contact the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation at 920-426-3993, and they'll be happy to talk to you. All right, we also wanted to make mention that the Oshkosh Public Museum has a new exhibit. It's called Nature as Muse, and that exhibit is open now through the entire year of 2025.
Right, it's something I know that you've spoken about on this program in the past, and the Oshkosh Public Museum is a unique place that showcases Tiffany glass, and it's very unusual to have the volume of glass that exists in one locale, but we're very blessed to have that be a feature of the Oshkosh Public Museum. So it's something that I think has been overlooked in the past, but I think it's important to recognize the beauty and the uniqueness of how Tiffany glass was incorporated into this home before it actually became the Oshkosh Public Museum.
Right, right. And this particular collection that is on display at the museum features Louis Tiffany's innovative design, including 2 stained glass windows and 6 functional light fixtures. And this collection is actually on loan from the prestigious Richard H. Driehaus collection. So it's really quite a thing to be able to see here in Oshkosh.
Right, it is. And, our museum director has done a great job securing this this collection as a way to kind of complement what we have here in Oshkosh and, view the beauty of Tiffany glass in combination. So I think it's something that if you have an opportunity to check it out, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Well, and there is one day that is a very special day to be able to check it out. The Oshkosh Public Museum is having a free admission day on February 15th, and the Oshkosh Public Museum Auxiliary is key in providing that.
That's right. They've been a tremendous sponsor. We were talking about sponsors before for a long, long time, and we know that at least lately, the weather's been a little chilly, so I think this is a great opportunity to get out of the house a little bit and check out this beautiful exhibition.
Right. That free admission day, by the way, is on February 15th, and that goes from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on that day. And you can always check out the Oshkosh Public Museum's website for more details about this and all of the other things they have going on. So they have a lot happening over there.
Right.
Well, speaking of cold, chilly weather, some people may choose to be outside and enjoy the cold weather. And the winter ice skating continues over at Menominee Park. We've mentioned this before, but just to remind folks that it's still there and available for folks to take advantage of.
Right. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it's because of the weather itself or the fact that people haven't had an opportunity to take advantage of that rink, but it's my understanding it's been very popular so far. And so if you have a chance to get out there, the ice is pretty good right now, and I think it's going to be good for a little while yet. Out at Menominee Park, the rink is inside Menominee Park. It's open Saturdays and Sundays from noon to 4, and with free skate rentals. Dr. Eric's Skate Club is helping us out as a partner with that. The Lake Fly Cafe will serve as a warming shelter on the weekends. And I think the public is welcome to skate on the rink during the extended Menominee Park Zoo weekday hours, too, Monday through Friday, 10 to 2.
That's right. Yeah, plenty of opportunities to take advantage of it.
Right.
There are a few more advantages to going on the weekends, but certainly folks are able to take advantage of it during the weekdays as well, or to visit the zoo. People don't always think of that, but it's available for folks to come and take a look at the Menominee Park Zoo and see what it looks like in the winter.
That's right.
So more information is available on the Menominee Park Facebook page, including if they should have a closure, it would be posted there. And please feel free to check that out. Okay, then, John, we also just wanted to point out that the city is always looking for folks, residents, to serve on various boards and commissions. And people might not always think that they're qualified for something like that, but we really want to dispel that misinformation and encourage folks to give it some thought.
Right. I think we have our boards and commissions. They've been established for a reason, and I think certainly the Common Council makes a variety of very important decisions. But not only they, but staff want to hear from the citizenry, and a good way to get involved is to participate on boards and commissions, and then you hear about some of these issues or work on several projects and issues before they even reach the Common Council for them to make a decision. And they very much want to hear what the boards and commissions have to say, because they know that they're made up of our citizenry. So yes, in order for us to make the best decisions possible, it's important for the citizens to be involved, and we certainly encourage them to be involved. And yes, they're qualified as citizens of the community of Oshkosh. So please consider that if you can.
Sure. And they can think about maybe what area they might most be interested in and find a committee that lines up with that interest.
Right. I know that if you go to the city's website, there's a page that talks about all the boards and commissions, talks about what they're involved in, what sort of decisions they might be making. So you can check that out in advance and understand what the commitment is, how long the terms are, when the meetings take place, all those sorts of things. So we really would encourage you to take a look at that, and if you have some time that you can give back to the community and help us continue to become a better place, we sure would appreciate that.
And the council values that input.
Absolutely, council and staff, absolutely.
All right. Well, John, I think we'll take a quick break here. Please stay with us for highlights from the upcoming council meeting agenda. We'll be right back.
This winter, pay attention, go slow, and stay in control while driving on Wisconsin roadways.
Welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig along with Interim City Manager John Fitzpatrick. Let's turn our attention to the highlight agenda, where we will highlight some agenda items from the upcoming Tuesday, February 11th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting. And John, it looks like, I don't know, don't have a whole lot on the agenda. It's maybe one of the, not the largest one I've seen, but there are several things here. So we wanted to point out that the council will be beginning with a workshop prior to the meeting, and they'll be looking at some of the projects that are happening, housing projects.
Right. For folks that may not be aware, this has been a priority for our community development department as well as our council members and staff. And I think people know that housing is a challenge not only here in Oshkosh, but across the country. So I think our community development director and her staff have done a really great job trying to come up with innovative ways to provide housing opportunities in a variety of different income levels and need levels, all across the spectrum of what may be needed for housing. And this particular workshop focuses on some infill projects for Farmington and Washington, where the previous Washington school was. So I know they've had a neighborhood meeting. They've talked to a lot of the residents in that area. They've gathered some ideas and heard some of their concerns. And so this workshop is designed to update the council, let them know what's going on with these two projects, give them an opportunity to ask any questions they wish, and then make sure we're moving forward in a manner that they feel comfortable with, and also that the community feels comfortable with. So that's really the purpose of this workshop. That's going to take place at 5 o'clock in room 404, right before our actual council meeting.
Right, and that will be televised as well as carried on the radio, 5 p.m. on February 11th, so folks can tune in and learn more.
Right.
All right. Then also we have an introduction of staff. We have an interim fire chief.
Right. I know we spoke a little bit about the fire chief recruitment in the first half of this program, but there'll be an introduction of Greg Stelter, who's been approved by the Police and Fire Commission to be the interim fire chief. And I was happy to recommend Greg for this assignment. I've known Craig for many years. He's currently the assistant chief for the Oshkosh Fire Department. I got to know him over time when he was a member of the rank and file union and actually served as their union president. And my experience with Greg is he's been a very thoughtful, practical person who is, I think, respected, by his coworkers, people inside the department and other departments as well. in our organization. So I believe he's just going to do a great job during this time of transition with Mike leaving us, and then us moving forward with the recruitment. So we're fortunate to have him, and this is going to be an introduction of Greg formally to the community
Okay.
and the council.
Okay, so we'll have a smooth transition with good people to keep us guiding along as we go.
Right.
So we're beginning one interim position, and we are coming to the close of another one, which happens to be yours.
That's
and
right.
That is another agenda item. We are looking to approve the end date for our interim city manager.
That's right, yes. Yeah, as a result of city manager's decision to retire, the council asked me to fill in as the interim city manager, and I was happy to do that. I was very honored that they thought that that I would be a good choice to accept that responsibility. I was happy to do it, but all good things must come to an end, and I'm pleased to say that I'm looking forward to having our new city manager start. I think everybody is, and
Have you been in contact with Rebecca Grill?
I have been in contact with her a little bit. I'm trying to be respectful of everything she needs to do,
Right.
Because it's difficult when you're winding up an old assignment and transitioning to new. But yeah, I've had a chance to speak with her on a variety of different occasions, and I really believe that the community is going to like her and enjoy her, as well as the staff. And I think she's a little reserved somewhat, but I think what I've been able to observe from her is she is someone who really values developing relationships, and I think that's going to be something that's going to be important for her when she comes to the community. I know that people in the community want to have a good feeling about the people that are responsible for managing the affairs of the city, and I know that she knows that's important too. And it's going to take her a little bit of time, I think, for people to get to know her.
Yeah.
But I think the manner in which she prefers to build that relationship, one step at a time, I think is something that, based on my experience with the Oshkosh community, that I think they're going to appreciate. So.
Yeah, and we will be looking for opportunities to allow the community to be able to meet Rebecca and provide those as we go forward.
That's right. February 24th is going to be her first day here, so we're going to try to get her settled a little bit, and then she's going to have a council meeting right away on the 25th, so she's kind of jumping in with both feet. Yes.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, and thank you again for serving as interim city manager. So
thank you, Andy.
And thanks for filling in on the show. We appreciate you being here.
I'm happy to do it.
All right. We have another item we wanted to highlight. We are looking at hiring a professional services arrangement for, this is over by 7th Avenue.
Right.
And there have been some issues over there.
Right. I think if people have been following some of the things that have been taking place at the council meeting, and it has been in the news in a limited manner, we have rebuilt a lot of infrastructure in the 7th Avenue area. And the people that live in that area have reported some significant changes in their groundwater. So we, hear their concerns. We want to support the issues that they may want to have remediated as much as we possibly can. So we've been looking into, we've been trying to explore what may or may not have been causing this. So this is just one effort for us to take a look at the concerns that have been expressed by those residents. There's a very large box culvert that was installed in that area. So this group is going to investigate that box culvert, make sure that it's operating properly, make sure that there's no damage to that culvert or there's any problems that might be causing some of the concerns that have been expressed by the citizens.
Sure.
But I think it's important to make sure that the community knows that this isn't the only effort that Public Works is undertaking to try to address the concerns that they brought up.
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing, and this is just one step of many.
Okay. Well, John, I think our time is about wrapped up here today, but we do appreciate your time and joining us today, and thanks for being here.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
All right, and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you taking the time to spend some time here. So again, that Common Council meeting is at 6 p.m. Tuesday, February 11th. We encourage you to tune in and be active in your local government.